a grateful heart. Oh, we give you thanks. Because he's given Jesus his son. And now let the weak say it, I am strong. Oh yes, let the poor say I am rich. Oh thank God, because of the Lord has done for us. And
Welcome to your mental health section. It's always wonderful to be here. I don't say it's so good to be here again. It's always wonderful to be here. It's a privilege, a very wonderful privilege. How are you doing? How is everything? Wherever you are, I hope you are not feeling cold. And if you are cold, try and get something like an hot tea. Just use it to shock your body somewhere. And if that's not okay, you can actually get hot water. Don't feel intimidated by somebody that's drinking tea beside you. Just get hot water and use it to shock it. They are doing the same job but with different taste. You get. So just try as much as possible not allow the weather affect the things you ought to do and the things you need to do. Most times like that, when rain falls, it's always like, that day is destroyed. Like, people will not have the passion and the energy to do anything throughout that day. You just see people just keep calm. So yeah, what's wrong? That rain, no, that weather is affecting me somewhere. No, you have to get up and do the needful. Try as much as possible to achieve something for the day. Try as much as possible. Hope you are fine. How is everything? Hope there is no gbas in your society. Everywhere is just gbas right now. It's very fun. Reading a lot of things and seeing a lot of things happening, and it's just so funny. But the truth about it is that all these things is pointing emphasis to the fact that the society needs to take mental health very serious, very, very, very serious, because people are just following different kind of trend and they don't even know what to believe. And that's the funniest part. They don't know what to believe, they don't know what to follow, they don't know anything. You are just conforming here and there. Conformity is good and at the same time it's not good. That's another topic for another day under social psychology. We'll discuss that. So today we are going a little bit into clinical. I really want us to do a little bit of clinical today. We'll be talking about a lot of things about emotions, everything, low self-esteem, and it has been so wonderful. So today I want us to do a little bit of clinical psychology, and then majorly the things we are going to be talking about are things that are surrounding depression, because there is depression. Depression is real, very real. Somebody will be walking on the road, you know that person is suffering from this depression. You just be looking at that person, that what's wrong with you. Actually, I was talking to someone of recent, and we if I were to build that person for that session, sincerely, I'm sure I'm going to be collecting something like 40K or so. That's just a joke, by the way. But we were talking, and for hours we were just on the same thing. The person was just talking. The person has piled up a lot of things: family issues, societal issues, and job issue, everything. The person was just talking. And the funniest part, by the time we talked to a session, I was just being a therapist. I was just listening, because I just wanted that guy to have an expression of what he was saying. And at some point, he just started crying, and I was like, "Wow, this is getting serious now," because he has piled up so many things, and he just didn't know who to talk to. He just didn't know where to pour his heart to, and this thing, and it has actually developed some things that he shouldn't develop in his body. And I feel like, no, there's a need for us to really talk about this particular thing in the society, to talk about something that is actually regards it. So there's absolutely nothing that really encourages anybody at this moment. In fact, everything, I don't even want to, I don't know what to say. But irregardless, I have chosen to stay strong. I'll not allow the society to destroy my mental health. Shey you get. But the truth is, we all need to face the reality of the new normal, face the reality of everything that is happening around. So that will take me to what we are discussing today. We are talking about general anxiety disorder. We call it GAD. So, what is general anxiety disorder? General anxiety disorder is a state of worry that comes between the age of 14 to 40 years of age. 14 to 40 years of age. It's a stage of worry. You worry about life, worry about what you want out of life, how to get this done, how to get that done. In fact, many people are actually suffering from general anxiety disorder. They don't know these days. They are really suffering from it because when you put yourself in a constant state of worry and you cannot sleep, you're having insomnia, something is wrong. You cannot eat. No, you cannot eat. Like some of us that loves to use food as therapy. Somebody like me, I love to use food as therapy. So you cannot eat. You should know something is wrong somewhere. You cannot do anything. You are just fed up of life. ah Thank God that you are still fed up. You have not graduated to the stage of committing suicide. So at that stage that you are still fed up, that's still general anxiety disorder. It has not gotten to depression. But the moment is you are getting to that stage where it's like you are putting powder inside water. It's depression. You really really need to rush to a psychologist to really help you out, because people don't really know that they are suffering from these things. And people just, it's not like people are irritated, they are frustrated, and everyone is just acting based on the frustration that is coming out from their thoughts, from what they are thinking, from the worries they are having from the society. Somebody did something that was very funny as regard this anxiety disorder. The person called a family member of mine in panic, and the person was like, do you have international passport? I was like, for what? If you have international, it is time for you to start processing to calm down now. You have not even seen the worst of the worst. You are already having that panic, having that this thing. So what am I saying is that everybody now these days is really going through that place of general anxiety disorder. It's actually not a severe stage though. It's still the beginning of anxiety, the beginning of worries, the beginning of fears, the beginning of how do I do this, how do I do that, this and that, and that's just the beginning. But if this stage is persistent for 6 months above, it has gotten to depression. It is already at the peak of depression. But at least within that 6 months, you continue to have this worry of how do I do this, how do I do that, and every night you find yourself not sleeping, not until you take pills. You believe that it is only when you take pills that you'll be able to sleep. Something is wrong somewhere that you need to check, because you cannot continue to take pills forever. And in the process of trying to take pills, you will not know when you develop into depression and other things will be coming in. And you see, you find yourself having mood swing. You are always alone thinking. Before you know it, you are breathing. Any little thing. Something is happening somewhere. You need to really really check, because many people don't know when the state of worries consume them. They are not always aware. I've seen times that people will be so lost in thoughts that they will think people around them are not noticing. And you'll be talking to them, though, not like they are not listening. No, they are listening, but their mind is just not there. So someone like me, if I'm talking to you and I know that your mind is not there as a psychologist, I already know. So I will not even bother to disturb myself about giving you further topics, because I know your mind is not there. So the essence of what I'm saying is that lately people are having those kind of reactions where they get carried away with thoughts, they get carried away with their state of worries, they get carried away with the things that are like, I don't know, with the issues of society. Now somebody is asking me that, is it not enough thing to think about? I am not saying it is not enough things to think about. Of course, everyone has their own loads. Everyone has one thing or the other that they should think about. In fact, thinking about the issues of life is one of the major things about life. Let me not lie to you. If we have not thought about anything, we cannot bring them into action. So everything that man does in life is a result of man's thoughts. But channeling your thoughts to that which is right is what man fights with every day. Every man fight with that. To just channel that your thoughts to being the place where you need to be grateful for what you have and look forward to what you don't have, knowing that whichever way it falls, you are going to have it. But man is just so consumed by and worried about their present state of life that They will do anything just to get what they want at that moment. They are just so worried, and that's why you see that there's just so many confusion in the air. People are just, you are worried about this, worried about that, worried about this is why many people are not living long. When you are too worried about things, you will not live long. One day you just be going on the road like this, you don't know when okada will just jam someone, or maybe bike, or on bicycle or motorcycle or something. Why? Because you are not conscious, you are not putting yourself in that place where you have to control your worries. You have to control what you think about. It is very, very, I used to say that you have to see, there's nobody that is not, how do I put it now, there's nobody that's not open to bad thought. Everybody, including me that I'm sitting as a psychologist here, everyone is open to bad thoughts. There are times that you might even be processing something at a time, and the thoughts will just come and just be like, this thing will never work. And when you think about it, if you subdue your thoughts to it will never work, you don't want to be motivated to do what will make it work. Because you subdue your thoughts, it will never work. So everyone is open. You see, our thought, the human mind is open. And it is open because there are so many informations, there are so many pictures, there are so many imagination that comes into it. There are so many things that comes into it. So your inability to control it will determine the state where you will find yourself in life. In fact, this thing that I'm saying is also spiritual. If you are working in a spiritual form, and you are not positioning your thoughts the way you should position it, or maybe you position your thoughts in a way that is not, how do I put it now, it's not okay, you will find yourself in a place that will not help you. That's why even Jesus was telling them that they should cast all of their burdens on him, for he cares. He was telling them that don't worry about what you will eat tomorrow, today, tonight. For Jesus himself to be saying that psychological words to people, you should imagine how important it is for you to learn to put your worries on things that are more positive. Sometimes it's always funny when I see people worry about what to wear when they've not eaten. Like, you've not eaten for like since morning, and you are worried about what you wear. Maybe perhaps someone is worried, not even worrying about what to wear. The person is even worried about the things you are yet to accomplish. Yet if you sit down and compare your life to another person, you discover that your life is better than the person. Yoruba people will say it is because you have not heard another man's story, that's why you are concerned. But the moment you hear another man's story, you will know that your own is even better. You will be grateful for what you have. So that people always find themselves in that place of worry. Even the scriptures made us understand that people always place themselves in that place of worry. Even when worries is not coming, people will position themselves in that place and say, I must worry. Maybe perhaps you have everything you need at that particular moment, and the next thing you just discover that, boom, a thought of you be worried about the things that you had to do tomorrow. I've seen times that I've not finished a particular project. Maybe I'm on it. I've not finished it. And maybe something like a discouragement does come. Then I have to pend it. And the next is, instead I should pend it and sit down and look for solution, I will be thinking about another project to go into again. I'll put myself in a state of worry and sleepless night. But later I get to understand it's not done like that. You don't do things like that. You have to learn how to position yourself in a place of rest. You have to be intentional about your rest and happiness. If you are really going to get anything about your mental health in the society now, you have to be intentional, you have to be deliberate. You have to tell yourself that I choose to happy no matter what, no negative vibes. You just have to be intentional, you don't have choice. But people always allow everything, when those things come and just put you in the state of worry. You just start panicking, you just start having fears, and just like, I don't know what to do. How do I do this? How do I do that? This thing, who does not need this? It won't help. Those are the things that emotionally gravitate into depression. And probably at a later stage in life, if you are not careful, you just find yourself spending money on BP, spending money on hypertension drugs, which is naturally not good. Though there are health wise issues that also contribute to it, but emotional issues too also contribute to it. So you have to be very, very careful to be intentional about your thoughts. Now, when we talk about this general anxiety disorder, like I said earlier, it's between the age of 15 to 4. It is normal for you to worry. But the truth about it is that it is not okay for you to be consistent and persistent on that particular worries. It is not okay, it is not good. So don't make worries your lifestyle. See, if you want to know a man that worries a lot, they nag a lot. You just see them, they nag at every little thing. Why is this one not done? This is how you supposed to do it. This is not the food I want to eat. That's not you just see them nagging at every moment. That's a sign that that person is always worried, the person is always having anxiety issues. Any little thing they fear, maybe probably somebody sat down somewhere and probably a mug just fell down from that person, and the way they will react to that thing, some people will even say blood of Jesus at that moment. Jesus and mug. Now the issue is, at that moment it's not about your reaction, it's about your state of thought. You are carried away with worries that you are not conscious of the things around you. You are not conscious of the things around you. So quickly, I am going to talk about the symptoms of general anxiety disorder. What are the things that you see in somebody that is going through this disorder, and you know that no, this person is actually is in a state of worry that is actually not good and is getting severe. Most times I talk about symptoms because I want people to be conscious of their neighbors in the society. I want people to be conscious of people's attitude. One of the problem we have with low emotional intelligence is that people are not empathetic. You don't look at other people's feeling, you don't look at other people's soul. People just come, and I think personally, that if there's anything I really don't like about the society, that people sometimes people just come and people just judge people. You don't even ask them the influence behind the things they do or the things that place them in that particular position they find themselves, and people just think they can just, and it's not done practically. It shouldn't be just psychology that have that mentality. Even everyone in the society should have that mentality. Yes, there's nothing that concern you about your neighbor. If it's your neighbor will be fine. But the truth about it is that sometimes the key to your neighbor's happiness can be in your hands, and a little kindness can actually go a long way. So kindness is not just in buying gift and life like that. You can also be kind by trying to share people's burdens and people's feelings. So that will bring me back to the symptoms of general anxiety disorder. So what are the symptoms? When you say somebody is having general anxiety, what are the things you will see in that person? Number one, they nag a lot. I've said it earlier. You just see them nagging at every little thing. They just worry. They worry at this, worry at that, worry at everything. You just see them nagging. You should know that they're having general anxiety disorder. Number two, they have sleepless night. We call it insomnia. When somebody cannot sleep in the night, the first day you take super pet, second day super pet, you are sleeping everywhere. And you just get, there's a time that when your body is used to a particular drug, whether you like it or not, you will get used to it. And if you have not taken that drug, there's a way that your body will begin to demand for it. So if you are taking drugs and you think drugs is the only solution for general anxiety disorder, you are wrong. Drug is not just the only solution. You need a psychotherapy, and if you don't get a psychotherapy as soon as possible, you will consistently involve yourself in that thing. At the end of the day, the result will not help you. The result will not help you. So insomnia is one of the, when somebody cannot sleep and the person is having sleepless night, you know that person is in a state of worry. Number three, when that person is irritated, any little thing irritate the person just, they say psychologically it is only when you meet somebody you get angry easily. It's not only when you meet somebody o. Sometimes when you are in a state of worry, you get angry easily. Little things just get to you. Just don't near me. Something is wrong somewhere. Why? Because you tend to want to look for somewhere to pour out your aggression, the feeling of what you are going through. So you feel that the nearest person to you is where you can pour that aggression, that reactions to. So by pouring it out, you are actually irritated at every little thing. That's why when you have CEOs and managers, that you see that they are, how do I put it down, you see that they are nagging or they are irritated at every little thing. Instead of judging them and saying oga is wicked or oga is this, you should really know the things behind the action, something that influenced them to behave that particular way. I would have loved to say more or finish our topic today, but I am going to finish it next week, where we'll be talking extensively on how to overcome general anxiety disorder. But the little one I've said now, I really like you to go and sit down wherever you are to think about it. In case you're going through general anxiety disorder now, wherever you are, just take a deep breath and tell yourself that everything is going to get better, and cast all of your burdens on God. I'll see you guys again next week. Thank you for always following us.
Give thanks